start with a description of the work that each of you are doing. Kathy, would you like to go first?
Sure. Okay, so very briefly, my project is really not square on with ecology, and I tried to persuade these guys not to invite me, but I'm really interested in animals, and I'm just finished a book negotiating on orientation to animals, an ethical response to animals between a few major discourses. And the first one that I'm combating is animal rights, people who feel that animals by their very nature have inherent value, and the only model for dealing with animals in that sphere is complete abolition. That's like PETA, HSUS, ALF, in defense of animals, 9 out of 10 animal groups that you name are animal rights groups. There's very few other kinds. So I'm really kind of opposed to the inherent value of each creature, and don't think it's wrong to use animals for pets, food, clothing, and not everyone read the paper. Okay, so and also for entertainment and exotic animals. The other major discourse that I'm moving around or through is scientific conservation around animals, and people who feel that the value of animals is only found within an ecosystem. So here you get discourses of keystone species and flagship species, and naming of the animal's role within the wild animal's role within a particular ecosystem. And these two are often in conflict, as you probably watched last fall. Some of the conflict emerge in local papers around the culling of deer in Duke Forest. The rightists thought, oh no, we can't kill them. The conservationists absolutely felt that it was important to protect other aspects of the forest, and it supported culling. And so, they're not together, and I'm trying to come up with a third option or a way around them. So my project roots its ethics in a different place. Rather than the inherent value of the animal or the place in an ecosystem, I root it in culture and in the way that we identify with certain animals, tell stories about certain animals, participate in the lives of certain animals, watch certain animals. And I argue that what matters to us is produced by culture, and therefore value is pegged not to individuality or place in an ecosystem, but in the way animals are represented and interpreted in culture. Lots of people already know this. Zookeepers have this category called charismatic megafauna, and those are the animals that are most, that show the best, that people want to see. And so I'm looking at ethics through a lens like that and saying something very close to, well, we should care about the animals because we care about them. I mean, it's a little bit tautological and you can't back it up past that, but I do not want to be part of the generation that sees the last polar bear or the last tiger or the last wolf on Earth. And so given that, my argument really is about saving particular animals that we are already involved with, not for reasons that are about connection, affection, border crossing, not about their inherent value or their place in the ecosystem. The project that very largely that encourages to form deeper relationships with animals, but not in the way that either science or animal rights wants us to. And that's sort of a real short, I'll answer, talk about it more as we go, but that's sort of where